Religious prophecy. Many religions have prophecies or scriptures that believers interpret as indicating the end times. For example, in Christianity, some people point to passages in the Bible such as Matthew chapter 24 or Revelation, which discuss signs of the end times like wars, natural disasters, and moral decay. Current events. Some individuals might argue that current events align with the signs described in religious texts. They may point to things like political instability, environmental disasters, or social unrest as evidence that the end times are near. Environmental concerns. From a scientific perspective, some experts warn about the potential consequences of climate change and environmental degradation. They argue that if significant changes aren't made soon, it could lead to catastrophic outcomes for humanity and the planet. Technological advancements. Some people worry about the implications of rapidly advancing technology, such as artificial intelligence or genetic engineering. They fear that these developments could lead to existential threats or catastrophic events. Pandemics and global crises. Events like the COVID-19 pandemic have heightened fears and uncertainty around the world. For some, this serves as a reminder of humanity's vulnerability and the potential for widespread disaster. It's essential to recognize that perceptions of the end times are subjective and often shaped by cultural, religious, or personal beliefs. While some may see current events as signs of impending doom, others may interpret them differently or focus on efforts to address challenges and create a better future. Interpreting the Bible to suggest that the end times are imminent is a matter of religious belief and interpretation, and different individuals and groups may have varying perspectives on this. However, there are several passages in the Bible that some people interpret as indicating the signs of the end times. Matthew chapter 24 verses 6 to 8. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. But see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Some interpret these verses as indicating that wars, natural disasters, and other signs of turmoil will precede the end times. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 to 5. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Some see these characteristics as reflective of the moral decline and societal decay that will precede the end times. Revelation chapter 6 verses 1 to 8. The opening of the 7 seals in Revelation is often interpreted as symbolic of various events leading up to the end times, including wars, famines, and natural disasters. Revelation chapter 13. This chapter describes the rise of a powerful and tyrannical figure often interpreted as the Antichrist, who will deceive many and lead them astray before the end times. These are just a few examples, and interpretations can vary widely among different religious traditions and denominations. It's important to note that while some believers may see current events as fulfilling these prophecies and indicating the nearness of the end times, others may interpret them differently or emphasize the importance of spiritual preparation and living according to their faith regardless of the timing of such events. When considering the concept of the end times according to the Bible, it's important to acknowledge the diverse interpretations that exist among different religious groups and scholars. The idea of the end times, also known as eschatology, is a prominent theme in various religious texts, particularly in the book of Revelation and certain prophetic passages in both the Old and New Testaments. Interpretations of these texts vary widely, but there are several key themes and passages that many people believe point to the signs of the end times. Matthew chapter 24, Signs of the End Times. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus delivers a discourse known as the Olivet Discourse, where he speaks about the signs that will precede his second coming and the end of the age. This discourse is found in Matthew chapter 24 verses 1 to 51. Jesus mentions several signs, including false messiahs, wars and rumors of wars, famines, earthquakes, persecution of believers, and an increase in wickedness. These signs are likened to birth pains, indicating an intensification and frequency as the end draws near. Revelation, apocalyptic visions. The book of Revelation, also known as the Apocalypse of John, is filled with vivid imagery and symbolism depicting the end times. Throughout Revelation, there are descriptions of seals being opened, trumpets being blown, and bowls of judgment being poured out upon the earth. These events symbolize various cataclysmic occurrences, including war, natural disasters, plagues, and the rise of a global ruler known as the Antichrist. Daniel's prophecies. In the Old Testament book of Daniel, there are several prophecies that some interpret as referring to the end times. For example, Daniel chapter 12 verse 4 speaks of a time when knowledge will increase and people will go to and fro, which some see as a reference to the technological advancements and globalization of the modern world. Additionally, Daniel's visions of empires and rulers, Daniel 2:7, are sometimes interpreted as having end-time significance, particularly in relation to the final kingdom established by God. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 to 5, moral decay. The Apostle Paul writes to Timothy about the character of people in the last days, describing them as lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, and lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Many see these characteristics as reflective of the moral decay and spiritual apostasy that will characterize the end times. Israel's restoration. Another aspect often discussed in relation to the end times is the restoration of Israel. Throughout the Bible, there are prophecies concerning the restoration of the nation of Israel and its significance in God's plan for the end times. The re-establishment of Israel as a nation in 1948 is seen by many as a fulfillment of biblical prophecy and a sign of the times. Globalization and one world government. Some interpretations of biblical prophecy suggest that the end times will be marked by the rise of a one world government and a global economic system. This idea is based on passages such as Revelation chapter 13, which describes a beast with authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation, as well as Daniel's visions of future empires. The rapture. The concept of the rapture, although debated among Christians, is often associated with the end times. This event, based on interpretations of passages like 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verses 16 to 17 and 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verses 51 to 52, involves the sudden gathering of believers to meet Christ in the air before a period of tribulation on earth. The tribulation. Many interpretations of biblical prophecy include a period of intense tribulation that will occur before the second coming of Christ. This period is often associated with the reign of the Antichrist, persecution of believers, and various judgments poured out upon. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.